Hi, my name is Tom, and I'm the founder and CEO of Vertical Motion. So back in 2022, I was diagnosed with leukemia, and while I was in the hospital, I realized that I felt like I was a good husband, a good father, but I didn't quite feel like I had lived up to my potential in my career. And it occurred to me that I wasn't really living in alignment with my life purpose. After a lot of self-discovery, I figured out that my life purpose was to teach leadership. So I started coaching on the side while going through chemotherapy in January 2023. And I landed 2 clients, and both of them were executives within 2 months of working with me, and felt like, okay, well, I have something here, I can do something. Fast forward 6 months after that, my wife and I sat down and said, why don't we give this a go? And so I left my full-time job and we just dove in, and it took off. And it's been just an absolute amazing journey ever since. I always said that I wanted to surround myself with amazing people that I work with and that I work for. And at Vertical Motion, we actually did that. We have on staff 6 amazing people and me that are just absolute amazing, wonderful, genuine people who are authentic, empathetic. They care about doing great things. They care about people. Then we have a cohort of currently more than 80 people that are just incredible people. Each and every single one of them are amazing individuals. But as a community, they're so supportive and helpful to each other. They're networking like crazy. People are landing jobs with each other. People are consulting with each other in the program. It's just amazing to see all of the support and connectivity and communication that's happening between the coaches, the cohort. And every now and then I have to pinch myself to realize that we actually built a community of like-minded, positive, energetic people who want to do the right thing and want to become a great leader. One of the things that's important to me is to make sure that people understand that this is a company of coaches, that I am not the only coach. I'm just the one that you see on camera the most. But the coaches in the program, in many ways, are better than me at the things that they teach. So when you work with someone else in the program, you're actually working with someone who does something better than I can. I'm more of a generalist, and I'm there to be a resource to the community. The other coaches in this program are tremendous. They're absolutely amazing individuals with incredible stories and backgrounds and perspectives. And the help that us as a team provide to individual clients is so much greater than if I was just working individually with people one-to-one.
Hey guys, Nelson Santini. I am the entrepreneur in residence and executive coach at Vertical Motion. Good to meet you. So I'm a graduate of United States Naval Academy. Became an naval officer on submarines. Spent 7 years doing that, and then I actually went over to work in corporate America. There I actually have worked in several firms and sales operations, all the way to becoming vice president and chief revenue officers in several entities. And as of late, working and doing corporate turnarounds and helping companies basically become a better version of themselves, and also here a coach at Vertical Motion, helping executives, improve their career. It's been very satisfying. It's been actually just wonderful just to see people coming on board, hoping to make a better version of themselves, and then just seeing that transformation happen literally as we're collaborating and working on a day-to-day basis, weekly basis, seeing them progress through their assignments, through the course, and becoming a better version of themselves. Truly satisfying, humbling, heartwarming. I think that one of the best things that I've observed is kind of like in helping them just transform themselves to be a better executive. They have just been amazing. It's hard to find the words to see people, how they are happy in a better place professionally and personally after going through the course. It's a really good question, Tom. I think that one of the key things is when you're working as a leader in the company, it's different than where you're an individual contributor. And I think one of the things that makes the most sense in the course is how we can take people from becoming an individual contributor and actually making that mind shift of taking care of people, leading them to be a better version of themselves, while at the same time learning how to basically become a leader for their company. So it's a great transformation process. And if anything I have to say is, trust your team and train them to be a better version of themselves. I tend to focus on folks who want to kind of like become an entrepreneur, who want to actually just explore the capabilities and their own possibilities as of starting their own business, becoming leaders within their company. So sure, we do the executive coaching. We help them, again, just understand how to improve their copy, their material and content as subject matter experts on LinkedIn. We help them to go through, prepare for the interviews as needed, but again, there's some other folks that want to be more onto the world of entrepreneurship. And so I help them as well with that. So a little bit of everything, depending on what they need and when they needed in their timeline within the program. So it's really important for us to understand where somebody is in order for us to be able to say and chart a course that says, here's where you're going. And I like one of your phrases, we don't need to know exactly what the coordinates north is, but we just cannot be heading on south, right? We have to be moving into that general direction. So on a discovery call, what I like to do is I like to make sure that I understand where they are in their career, what their aspirations are, and then do a quick inventory of the tools and the skills that they have. So once we have that ascertained, then we can figure out if the program happens to be a good fit for them as well as a good fit for us, because we want them to be successful and we want them to be in a good place so that when they're done with the program, they find themselves in a better place for their career and for themselves.
Hi, my name is Sandra and I am one of the coaches here at Vertical Motion. So my background started in the C-suite, and it started at Nestle, specifically the beverage portion of Nestle, where I was the executive assistant to the CEO, which was kind of my entry into corporate America and into, honestly, a really great company and a really great company culture. From there, he took me to a private bank, which was interesting. Worked with him at a private bank, and then from there, I went to work with the CEO of Levi Strauss & Company, who was actually the great, and it goes on, grandnephew of Levi Strauss. So that was pretty awesome as well, and gained even more experience in that capacity with someone at a level that was historical. So that was great. From there, I did various HR functions in organizational development, looking at the culture of a company, helping to change it. Worked with a lot of consultants, learned a lot from them. And then fast forward, I actually got recruited into recruiting, and somebody saw my background, saw the skill set that I had, thought that I might be good, and I was. That was interesting, and I enjoyed it. I talked to so many people, and it was a cold call situation, and placed people. Kind of started to change lives in that respect, and that I would move people from like a management position into a VP position. I would move people across the country. So that was interesting. Started to do recruiting in consumer products. From there, I went to cybersecurity, satellite communications, and then landed at Goldman Sachs. So worked in their legal department and helped place attorneys primarily in New York, some in Belfast, and some in Monterrey, Mexico. So kind of an international experience as well. And then from there, I came to Vertical Motion, which has been amazing. I would say the through line, all of that is transformation. I think when people jump from one job or one company and they jump to the next, it transforms not only their lives, but their families' lives. And I enjoy doing that. I enjoy working with the level of clients at Vertical Motion. It's been amazing. I'm happy to be here. So I was the first employee in Vertical Motion. I was so excited when Tom reached out to me to tell me what he was gonna do. Knowing who Tom is, I'm like, I'm in. At some point you really determine, like, I wanna work with good people. I wanna have that experience. I wanna be happy about what I do. So I was the first, and then from there, one of the things that I started to work on immediately was really coaching people in their LinkedIn presence, explaining to them why it's important, sharing the value of what LinkedIn and becoming a subject matter expert does for you in your career and with your network activation. The other thing I do is I help with people's resumes, and I do all of that through the lens of a recruiter, because recruiters have a very limited amount of time. They have a large workload, and I want people to not only be discovered for what they do, but I also want them to start attracting the people that they need to start attracting. So those are two things that I do. Everything else, I also help people with their interview skills and researching companies and understanding cultural fit, behavioral questions, like all of the things that come along with like trying to get that new position, that next position. Those are just some of the things that I do. And of course, like in the meantime, other things come up outside of interviewing. One of the things that I have found too is I think through this process, sometimes you come in with this idea of this is what I I want. And it fits into a very small box, right? As people go through this process, sometimes other options they had not considered present themselves. Because I think that what people do is they start to discover, like, there is this part of me that's always been really good. And I think the fun part as one of the coaches is when you help somebody discover that, it changes the trajectory of what they were thinking about initially and what they could do. And so to me, that's exciting. That's exciting. And that is a long-term, sustainable transformation. The cohort is its own character in the movie, honestly. Initially, the people that are in the cohort right now, baseline, the through line with all of these people is they're good people. They're accomplished, right? They've risen to a certain level in their career. The most exciting thing to see is when we're all on a call together and everybody's kind of reaching across to say, I've had that experience. Let me also help. Let me also contribute. So everybody is very much committed, I think, not only to their own success, but to each other's. So it's super supportive. So running in the background, I think outside of our calls and one-on-ones and coaching, these people are also connecting and building their network through the people who have entered the program. So it's all been positive. My takeaway too is I'm also learning. I'm coaching, so it's a two-way street. I'm coaching and I'm also learning from them. It lights me up to see these people just take off. They come into the program and I've seen, even within a 2-month time span, they're not who they were. They are not who they were when they first walked through the door. And I really believe that is because of the support, the coaching, not only from us, but from each other. There is a tremendous power in that. And so even when they leave, they get to take that with them. I think they're all pretty committed to staying connected and kind of develop their own personal board of directors, if you will. That's what they've done. So that to me is fantastic.
Hi, I'm Jackie Neal. I'm the program director of the Executive Career Accelerator at Vertical Motion. Well, my background, I started out in engineering a long time ago, worked for computer hardware manufacturers. Somehow I got in the people side of things, selling consulting, doing business development for technology transformation consulting. Over time, I stayed in that business doing fixed price work on the business development side in the telecommunications industry. And one day I got the bright idea, went in business with the vice president that I worked for and had my first startup, which lasted 18 years. It was profitable. It was very exciting. And that company was acquired. I became an employee again, which was interesting. And now I'm working with Vertical Motion. This place is amazing. The quality of content, and that's just not because I work here. The place is amazing. The clients that are involved really want transformation and to move forward. Sometimes that's, a lot with the course and the material. Other times it's just having a good peer group, an executive peer group that understands what you're going through. I engage with people when they first start the program, do an introduction. I have a call with them just to really understand where they are and what they want to do. From there, we fine-tune the program to offer them the support that they need. We keep up with them all the time as they're moving along. If they need help with a resume, LinkedIn, writing content, understanding the marketing value of those types of actions, and helping them with career interview advice, and sometimes just conversations on the industry. Well, basically with resumes, it's amazing how many executives we get that their resumes are terrible. And I think a lot of it is they don't realize it is a marketing document, not a life story. And it needs to have some interesting information in it. So we work with them on that. We work with them on branding, which is basically being able to represent yourself to the world in the way you want to be represented, in your authentic self. So we help them with that. Really interesting, the response they start getting when they get second recruiter calls or executive recruiter texts or whatever, and they're amazed that they're getting these. And we say, well, yeah, it's because you're becoming a thought leader, you're becoming an industry leader, you're putting your information out there and sharing some of your personal, sharing some of your business things. From there, we work with them on interview techniques, mock interviews. Some do a very good job, some of them need a little more assistance to make sure they're communicating at a higher level. And then when they get offers, we help them review them, offer suggestions on counter offers and what that could look like, or that it's not a good offer and it's not the best, it's not fitting what we know that they want to achieve, and telling them to turn it down. I think they truly want to change. They don't like status quo. Sometimes they're at a hard life situation or a recent layoff downsizing, whatever. Some of our clients are that way, but a lot of them are just going, I want to get to the next step. I have the right experience and education, but I don't know how to get perceived the next level, an executive type position. So all of them, I think, really want to change, and they know what they don't know. I can say that some I thought would have a hard time after, supporting them, they did great. And I tell them, gosh, you're not the same person I talked to 2 months ago. So that has been really interesting. So from my perspective, I don't know that I can tell who's not going to be successful, because a lot of them just need the peer group, the support, the group of people that want them to win, and people that'll call them out on certain decisions that might not be the best for them.
Hi, my name is Trevor Maloney, and I'm a leadership coach at Vertical Motion. I've been in the coaching space for a decade, working with primarily leadership development companies. And before that, I was a sales leader at, 22 years old, right after college baseball. And I worked inside of a telecommunications company. It was basically a sweatshop, so it was nuts. It was crazy. And I was really successful though, led a team of like 50 agents, realized that I hated it. I knew I was meant for more personal growth, leadership, all that fun stuff, and reached out to a mentor of mine. And that was kind of my first jump into the coaching space. So I was about 22, 23. And ever since then, I've been helping build coaching companies, primarily in, coaching leaders, high performers, entrepreneurs, and sales. So number one, I had a great friend of you that you've worked with. And immediately when I looked at your content, I was like, wow, this is like right up my alley. It's helping leaders get better, land your roles, do amazing things. And it's been a little bit of a gap since I've been really in like that zone of genius for me on personal and leadership transformation. And when I looked at what you guys did, I was like, this is like literally exactly what I've been looking for in terms of how I can serve with my talents. And so that's the short story. And then obviously we connected and I felt like we just kind of hit it off. So yeah. I think the big one is that it's not just about landing your next role or getting promoted or making more money. There's that, but then more importantly, arguably, it's really about who you're becoming in the process. And a lot of programs have kind of a one-dimensional offer where it's like, hey, we're gonna help you do this specifically, and that's great, but we do that and we also make sure that you're growing as a person, as a leader, and as a human being. And I think that pays dividends over much longer periods of time than just landing an X role. And I've worked in situations in the past where, again, it was like, hey, we're gonna help you become a better leader, but that's it. And I think in Vertical Motion, we have an opportunity to really transform both situations in their life, their career, their purpose, their alignment, and their self-developments and who they're becoming in the process. It's me guiding you to make the best decision possible for you. And so what I believe is that enrollment call, a discovery call, a sales call is really not sales, it's actually a coaching call. So we at Vertical Motion can understand exactly who you are, what you're about, and where you want to go, and help you see that a lot more possible than you might think. And there's a lot of great opportunities out there, not only for your growth, but also the growth of your career.
Hi, I'm Nicole Cox. I'm the VP of Marketing and Operations at Vertical Motion. I love seeing our clients build their confidence. Some people come to us and they're lost and they don't know what direction to take. They don't know if they're even in the right career. And we help them really find and align their career to what they're supposed to do. And I love when they're successful and they're just happier and more confident than they were when they joined us.